You're at least trying to have a moral compass. Okay, can we agree on that? That at that moment they have what good intentions?
What? Not necessarily, no.
Okay.
But that's irrelevant. You got to prove that
it is
numbers
relevant.
coming here.
Do we have data? Do we have data on like the on the good faithness of people crossing the border illegally, or like people are like filling out their visa applications? Like, what are you even using to say this?
If you have two people, one person says, I'm not even going to make an attempt to do it the right way, and the other person tries to do it the right way, you say they're even?
That like illegal immigrants don't try and go through legal pathways.
But you know what's even funnier?
No, what's your source? Wait, what's your source? No, I want to ask him. Wait. What's your no? I need him.
Wait, let him ask his question.
What's your source? Yeah, what's your source that illegal immigrants don't try and go through legal pathways first?
That they're classified as illegal, so they didn't do the proper pathways?
If somebody applied for a visa and then got rejected and came here illegally, right?
Well, that's not overstaying your visa, right?
You made your visa, but that person made a good faith attempt, right? So I'm asking you, I'm asking you, like, what's your source that these people aren't trying to go through the legal system and do it the
U.S. Customs and Border Protection, bro, the main website.
Really? So they measure the amount of illegal immigrants who applied for legal status before they came across the border.
Of course, they measure everything
illegally. Really? Okay.
Show me the data. Of course, there's gonna be some inconsistencies.
Show me the data on that.
If you just
the only thing they measure is like what gotaways, border encounters, and like they have their estimates. They haven't updated since 2022 on the total amount of illegal immigrants. I've never seen any kind of data.
Of course, they updated it within the system to show the public, but maybe they have like their own actual updates.
What are you talking about?
Maybe they have their own updates. It's not on their website.
Another thing that's very important to recognize, which before you brought up this like 2018, then you slowly got to 23 and then 25, you realize that when an influx of 10 million people come in, they're not going to come here in day one, commit crimes. Like it takes time to acclimate, whatever you're going to do. It's going like it takes time to flesh out. So to definitively say like it's safer, that's also like a very limited. No, but that's based off backward looking data.
Cool.
We're just assuming that they're going to commit crimes.
This is kind of the thing. Okay, what do you think?
But they're predisposed to, aren't they? Because they already committed a crime coming here.
Can't handle. Why do you think the data is bad? Give me one reason.
You're using backward looking data.
Backward looking data. What do you mean?
You're looking at data that's predominantly based on before Joe Biden.
Predominantly, no.
When we need to be thinking about what's happening over the next 5 to 10
years. 2033, so I don't know what we're talking about.
That's still a 2023 study is still going to be an aggregate of 2021 and 2022.
What do you think? Just real quick, because I think you probably know what border encounters are. What do you think in border encounters started to go down?
In the election year, when Biden realized it was a losing political issue.
No, they started going down in 2023, actually.
Yes, going into the election year, yes. Approximately 1 year before the election, they finally said, oh, wow, this is going to lose us the election. Let's tighten it up.
Nope. Biden didn't implement an executive order on asylum until June of 2024. Most border encounters had already gone by 200,000 before that. It's not true.
By 200,000, bro, from 2 million? Wow. Ooh.
No?
From 2 million down by 10%. That's a big one. When it went up from 200,000 to 2 million.
I'm talking about the amount that happened per month. You're talking about the aggregate.
Now you want to say aggregate because I did?
No. I was just making a distinction between why the numbers I was talking about were different than yours, so people could understand.
What do you think about the What do you think about the people who are being smuggled into America by these narco gangs?
The ones that don't make it here, most importantly. The ones that you don't see come across. Because it's all the men, right? You see all the men come. Where did the women and the children go?
Exactly.
Where did the women and the children go, guys? Where did the women and the children go?
They're being human trafficked.
And they're being unalived. Some of them are being unalived, too.
Source?
Are you contending that the cartels are not human trafficking women?
How does cracking down on illegal immigration?
The majority of the women and children coming across the border are being human trafficked.
Wait, what?
What?
They don't make it to the border, brother. That's the point.
Yeah, how does cracking down on illegal immigration help that problem if they're not
Because it
even getting
deters
here?
people from trying to come here to begin with. There's no promise
Yeah.
of a pot at the end of the
We already
rainbow.
have laws. The laws right now aren't deterring them.
No, actually, there's like almost no encounters right now. Literally, like none.
You literally have like
And 1 million people self-deported. It's
you,
quite
you,
the opposite of what you just said.
They didn't used to say that.
you do realize that
Oh,
your
shit.
fence that you posted up, the border fence, there's like gaps in it. Maybe if you reinforced it, then it would actually deter those people.
You're never gonna be able to do that because a lot of the areas are very like mountainous or terrain, so they're just incapable of putting up like certain forms of fences there.
You can try to physically keep people out, but when Joe Biden, the first thing he does is repeals 14 executive orders to let people come here, then people say this is the time to get in. This is the time. You can't argue with that. The numbers went from 200,000 to 2 million per year.
They were already going up before Biden got in office.
They went up from 300,000 to 2 million per
They
year.
were already going up before Biden
I just
got in
accounted
office.
for that with my updated
This is a
example.
continuing trend from the Trump administration. Why are you
That's a
blaming
bad
Biden?
faith take. That's a bad faith
How's
take.
that bad faith?
Because they trickled up by a negligible amount of maybe
No, they didn't.
50,000
It was
a
a
year,
giant. It was a
up
spike.
to 2 million.
It was a spike. It wasn't a trickle. What are we doing?
So you think from 200K to 300K is a spike compared from 300K to 2
There was a
million?
literal
You think
spike
those are
before
comparable?
Biden got in office. I don't know, like.
I just
This is
accounted for
pure-
that.
this is
I
pure
threw
copium.
100,000 on the estimate for your argument.
This is pure copium.
Now account for the other 1.7
my
million.
question is like, what's to say this is a continuing trend from Trump's administration? Say this is a result of Biden policy.
Because it happened it went
was
from
happening
300,000 to 2
Happened
million,
before
bro.
Trump Biden got in office. Like, come on, what are you doing?
No. It went up
What's the data? This is
negligible.
not a continuing trend. It wasn't negligible. It was a spike.
And by the way, as COVID unfolded and Trump was spiraling at the end of his last term, the writing was on the wall that he was not going to win. Like, let's be real. I voted for him this time, but he was not in a good place at the end of his last term.
Yeah,
Everybody knows that.
This spike right here started under Trump.
What spike?
This one right here. Do you see the one that goes?
Where? Show me a
the
date.
one at the very end of the graph, bro.
What is the date you're referring to?
This would have been like
Give me a date. Like a date on the calendar.
2021, does it say?
Let me find one for date.
What website is that?
Pew Research.
Pew Research.
Pew Research Center.
Oh, Pew.
Also, what about those illegal migrants in New York that literally...
They were asylum seekers. They weren't illegal. I don't know. Keep lying about that.
Yeah, so what do you say about them taking over a school and then children were literally without school because they literally took over the whole school complex? What do you say about that?
That's kind of what happens when you start taking.
All right, so I went to Pew Research.
Places to
process. This is Pew Research. In 2019, the encounters was 851,000. In 2020, which was Trump's last year, it was 400,000. So it actually halved in his last year. So the trend was down, not up. It actually went down by 50%.
Wait, you understand?
2019, the border encounters was 851,000. 2020, Trump's final year, was 400. It went down by 50%. The trend was going down.
You need to look at the month by month. Because you understand, like it goes slightly into 2021.
May of 2019 was the spike under Trump. Okay, 132,000 border encounters. Then it cratered all the way down to 16,000 by April.
Yeah.
By January, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know what we're doing right here. We're just lying. The spike started right here.
Well, we're not lying. We're citing specific numbers.
But you can see the spike.
The spike started where? Well, hold on. You told me to go to Pew Research. Now you're pulling up a completely different chart because I proved you wrong with your.
Well, you asked me what I was. You said what was I looking at? So I just like told you what I was looking at.
So I'm reading the chart you told me to read. Then you said I'm lying. So should I pull up a different chart now because that one's
the
no
chart
good,
the chart that you're reading isn't lying. No, it just isn't broken out by month.
I'm reading the numbers and the dates next to them.
Wait, so why are you reading it from Waller?
Because they have it broken out by month.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can see the spike started right here in Trump.
What month? What day? What date?
That would have been
like define the spike. Tell me the month. The month prior, the month that you're referring to. Like what dictates a spike? You're calling it a spike based off what data?
The encounter data. I'm looking right here.
I know. What are those numbers and what are the dates?
Stuck. Host, are you stuck?
What do you mean? What
I'm just
numbers?
looking for a day, a month, and a year, right?
And it would have been January. It would have ended January of 21, and it was started around July of 20.
And what were the numbers? What was the spike you're referring to? It went from what to what per month? Like you're categorizing it as a spike, right?
Let's see. What did this add? 75,000 from 25,000. A little under.
Okay. So 75,000, right? We're on the same page now. January of 2021, when Biden took office, it was 75,000. Okay. Within the next 12-month period, within the next 7-month period, it went up to 200,000. Okay.
Yep.
So it tripled. It went up 300%. So the spike you just gave, okay, was by 50,000 people. This spike is.
So my question is, what is your source, or what is your evidence that this wasn't a continuing trend from Trump's era, and that this was specifically due to Biden era policy?
Because the total numbers were much larger under Biden.
But this was already going up. It was already going up before Biden got into office. So what's to say that this wasn't
during Trump there was ebbs and flows, just like every other administration.
If there was ebbs and flows in Biden's administration. So this was going up before Biden got into office. What's to say this wasn't continuing from Trump's into Biden's, and this is specifically a result of Biden being in office?
Well, didn't Trump reinforce the wall and deter a lot of the migrants coming in?
And why wouldn't have that kept it's not like Biden was tearing down parts of the wall.
That's exactly what they were doing.
No, they didn't finish the wall. That's what happened. He sold off.
No, they literally sold off parts, pennies on the dollar.
They sold off parts.
Drove up with bulldozers. When Texas tried to put barbed wire, they rolled up with bulldozers.
That's not what happened. You're taking two different. So there's actually two different things that happened there. So the first example they brought up is when Biden stopped construction on the wall, and the material that was left to build it was sold off. He wasn't actively tearing down sections that were built. That was a lie, right? Number two is when the Texas militia and Texas State National Guard were putting up barbed wire, and that barbed wire was keeping the CBP from accessing the border and people who were trying to seek asylum, in which case they were tearing that down. But they weren't tearing down the parts of the border or the wall that Trump had made. That is a lie. So once again,
well, he could have done it differently.
Once again, I'm just asking what did so differently that Biden changed that would have made this happen.
Yeah. So what he just did, the news spread it around, and then the migrants heard it and probably thought that it was a good idea to migrate to America.
So you're saying the news spread it around?
Right.
Spread what around?
That's of course.
They spread what?
That's how stocks work. That's how crypto works.
The news spread what?
How everything
The news
works.
spread what around?
That this was the time to get in. That they're relaxed all of the regulatory.
Who said that?
Biden did it first week in office, bro.
What did he relax?
Remain in Mexico, asylum.
What did remain in Mexico do?
It meant that if you came here seeking asylum, you had to remain in Mexico until your case was heard, not sign a piece of paper and then go and hope you come show back up.
Do you want to look at the border encounters when Remain in Mexico was implemented?
There's actually, you know what? Show us, bro. Show us. Yeah, whatever, bro.
So it's January of 2019. Encounters, but you don't get to come in. Do you realize that, right? An encounter means you're encountered. You've been encountered. Now remain in Mexico.
This is kind of the funny part. So January of 19, there was actually a spike when Remain in Mexico was implemented.
Of encounters.
Correct.
You've been encountered. Now remain there. Do not proceed into the country.
Why wouldn't that happen before?
Remain.
Well, that makes no sense. Why wouldn't that have happened before?
What do you mean, why wouldn't it? We could talk hypotheticals all day.
Apprehensions are counted as encounters. So if you apprehended somebody and took them in for asylum processing, before this would have still counted. So why did we only see the spike then?
And this is, you're talking May of 2019?
Mm-hmm.
5 months after Remain in Mexico. So you're giving an example as 5 months after, just so we're clear. Remain in Mexico was implemented in January. The spike happened in May.
No, sorry. So no. This was No, the spike was January 2019.
No, it wasn't. It was May.
No, it was January.
132,000 encounters in May of 2019. January of 2019 was 60,000.
I literally
the spike was in May.
I don't know what you're looking at.
The same Pew Research chart that you referred me to is what I'm looking at and been citing the entire time. Your resource.
What? You're literally just lying. That's not true.
Pull it up and prove me wrong. I'll send you a galaxy right now. If you show me that I'll send you a galaxy right now.
Just show me it. Yeah. Can you pull it on screen?
What does that say? May of 2019.
Can you put him on the big screen? I mean,
yeah, sorry, give me a sec. Go ahead.
That's the spike you're referring to, okay?
Do you see January 9? Wait, that's January 19. It says it right there.
No, it says right there. What month is May of the year? January, February, March equal. Number 5 is May. See how that says the number 5 next to 2019? That would be called May. Okay? The number you're referring to,
okay.
January, we just have to go all the way back down here, down this chart, to what you would not call a spike, which you would call negligible variance, okay? And you're going to be, we'll even give you February, because January's not popping up.
It literally says at the bottom of your chart, literally says like Jan, and it says 19.
Bro. When you go over it, it shows you the date.
Okay, I'm asking.
Number. What do you want to hope that you guess right visually here, or we're gonna go by the actual date? See that? That's called a date. See, February, 66. May. Oh wow, that's so crazy. That's called a spike right there.
Are you confused? This confused. It says January 19. January would be the first of the month. The first month in 19.
What?
The first month of the year.
About, bro?
It would be the first month of the year.
Come on, bro.
Bro.
Yeah, necessarily.
What?
Yeah, go back. Yeah, that's January 19.
Yeah, 66.
Right.
That's actually February.
Yeah, that was after this. Yeah, this was after MPP was implemented. You're confused. You don't even know what you're looking at. Wow, that was a bad. Holy blunder. Oof. That was bad on your part, man.
You just.
Yikes.
You don't know
Holy blunder. Holy blunder. Oh, shit. Bro didn't know how the months were. Oh, might want to repeat. Might want to go back to school for that one, bro. January. Wait, let's repeat it. Let's repeat it together. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Oh my god. Bro was so confident in himself. Oh no. That's sad.
I'll send you a galaxy right now.
Okay. They're okay. That's okay.
What are you
You proved
saying I
yourself
blundered?
wrong. I don't need to do anything, bro.
No. You're not explaining. You're just saying, "Holy blunder, Batman."
It was. Wait, you literally didn't know how the months of the year worked. That was.
No,
Do
you
you think
didn't,
speed?
dude.
If I repeat it in a high pitched voice and say blunder, maybe it won't look like such a regard. Oh, like come on,
See
bro.
how you're emoting now because you were wrong.
Oh,
Now you
shit,
can't
bro.
control your blood.
I can't control.
Blood pressure.
I can't control my black instincts. It just makes me super angry. Okay.
No, you're not angry. You're like pussing out. I
can't.
wouldn't call it angry.
He didn't get anything wrong, my guy. He literally got it right.
I got it right. You got it wrong, and then you called me a blunder.
Exactly, because you get embarrassed. Host, you
what
get
are you
embarrassed.
not understanding, bro?
You said it was afterwards.
After what?
January comes before May, dumbass.
January is when they implemented Remain in Mexico.
Yeah, so it was before that date.
And 5 months later was when the spike
And
happened.
5 months later, it kept going up after the MPP was implemented, the Remain in Mexico. That's my point.
No, it had a 1 month spike.
No, it had a 5 month
spike. Back down.
That was 5 months of data. What are you talking about? It kept going up until May. After it was implemented.
And then it came back.
Oh no.
Hello?
Stun lock. Okay.
Bro, you're comparing this whoop whoop to this. Whoop 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 whoop. Do you see how this is like a huge chunk? And you're looking at that and saying, "Oh, that's about the same. That's the trend. That's the trend." This is something that's never happened before in the history of the country. It's not the trend. It's abnormal. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's own son, said he fucked up the border. Like nobody thinks
I'm looking
Joe Biden didn't he lost the election because he fucked up the border. You realize that, right? Nobody agrees with you. Even Democrats admit, like
April.
In 2028, Democrats are going to be like, we're going to do a good job on the border this time. Everybody knows they fucked it up and admit it. This is not like a mystery here.
So I'm looking at wait. Actually, this is even worse. On April 8th of 2019, district court blocked the MPP. So the spike started to go down after a district court blocked the implementation to Remain in Mexico.
No, actually, it went up. What's first?
No, it went down. The counters went down after a court blocked it. Yeah.
Wait. What month comes first? April or May?
Well,
ooh, blunder. Blunder.
It started going down, yeah.
Blunder.
It started going down.
Man.
It started going down.
Blunder, holy blunder, Batman.
It started going down right after the court. It started to go.
It went up
1 month. It went up 1 month and then it started going down.
It actually went up by 40%.
Yo,
the exact
it started going up and then it went down.
April comes first, bro. April comes first.
It went up by 1 month and then it went down. That's just true. Are you denying that?
But you didn't say that, did you? You said it went down.
Okay. It went up by 1 month, then went down. That's true. That is a fact, my friend. Huh? It went up by 1 month, then went down.
It went up by 40%. And then, yes,
let me look up.
Then it went back down for the remainder of Trump's term, just like it was.
Isn't it kind of like you're trying to say that the MPP is the reason that like border encounters were down under Trump, even though a district court blocked it in April of 2019, and the district court didn't get Supreme Court didn't get around to staying it until March of 2020.
I mean, that
doesn't really make any sense to your guys' point, number one. And two, it's kind of interesting that the month afterwards, the encounters started to go down. It doesn't really seem like the MPP did that much to actually bring border encounters down. It actually looks more like it went up for a 5-month period. And then a little after, it was ordered to, it was enjoined from being implemented, it went down. So that's just true.
So wait, what you're saying? MPP got what? What happened with MPP in Trump's
a district court stayed it in 2019.
Okay, and that lasted for a very short amount of time and didn't hold
until March of 20. 2020.
Look at this. Remain in Mexico was created by active under Trump, suspended by Biden in 2021. Then a court actually told Biden you have to restart it. Then eventually the Supreme Court allowed it to get overturned.
What, do you think I'm denying it was suspended by Biden? Or do you think I'm saying it was a district court blocked it in 2019?
I'm saying that had a negligible impact in the grand scheme of things, and you're focusing on it like it was a major thing. It wasn't. It was nothing. It had very little to do with the general trend.
So you're admitting that the MPP doesn't have much to do with border encounters then?
No, I'm saying when a random district court tries to overstep their bounds and then gets found to be unconstitutional, and you're not allowed to overrule the executive branch as a random district court, it doesn't have much impact.
Well, it obviously does, because the government, until the district court's ruling is overturned, then they're enjoined from doing that. That's how that works.
Dude.
That's how. Are you denying that's how that works? That's true.
I'm explaining to you that this was one of Joe Biden's biggest downfalls.
This doesn't make any
sense. He had to drop out of the election and try to appoint Kamala at the last minute. And every Democrat that knows what
so you're trying to use you're trying to use that migrant protection protocols as the reason that border encounters kept going up during Biden's administration, even though the MVP wasn't even suspended until what, a good bit into 2021.
Actually, what's hilarious is there's like 10 things Biden did, and Remain in Mexico was one of them, and you want to hyper focus on that.
No, that's not true. I asked you why, like, if this is trend, sorry, if this is a continuing trend, right, of border encounters going up from the Trump administration into the Biden administration, and then you guys said, well, it's still it still went up even more, and I said, okay, but how can you prove that that's not just a continuing trend from Trump administration, that this is specifically due to Biden's policy? And you said, oh, well, the MPP.
Oh, that was one example.
Okay, what's the other example?
Latched onto that.
I'm glad you can see it on that point. What's your other example then? Stomach.
Wait, so what you're saying?
Stomach. No answer. Stomach.
Wait, hold on. I denying that when Trump was a president, like way back in his first term, like all the migrants and stuff, like it didn't drop or something. So you're basically saying
I don't know what border encounters in his first term were, from Obama into Trump.
Well, it had a sharp decrease. That's what I know.
Is that true?
Yes.
Border encounters. Here. Obama. Oh my gosh, can we go Obama?
Wait, did you say Obama?
Yeah, you were talking about his first term, right?
I was talking about Trump.
Obama into Trump, yeah, his first term, right? That's what you're talking about.
Right.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
In addition to Remain in Mexico, there was the reversal of the third county transit asylum rule, narrowing of use of expedited removal, ending agreement with certain Central American countries which laxed asylum rules, a change in enforcement priorities, expanding humanitarian parole pathways. Okay? It wasn't one thing, it was a collective of things that all resulted in the number going from a few 100,000 to a few million per year.
So he made it easier to legally immigrate here?
He made it easier for people that were trying to game the system to do so.
Game the system? What does it mean to game the system?
What percentage of asylum seekers are legitimately granted asylum?
What, for asylum, people at the border is like 65%.
So the other 35% would be doing what? Gaming the system?
No. Just not having enough.
tried to seek asylum, claimed asylum,
Okay.
then they were deemed to be not eligible.
Cool. Do you think like if I
Well, what were they
applied,
trying to
if I applied to a mortgage and I get denied, does that mean that I was doing that in bad faith?
If you applied for a mortgage, that's what you want to compare?
Yeah. If somebody applies for asylum and gets denied, does that automatically mean that their
Okay, how
asylum
about this? How
application
about
was
this?
in bad faith?
If you, yes. If you applied for a mortgage with fake data, like coming here and saying I'm afraid for
Wow,
my
now you're
life,
assuming
and
it's
then they
fake.
ran the numbers. No. If you get rejected for asylum, just like if you get rejected for a mortgage, there's a reason, right? The bank just doesn't look at you and say, this kid makes $2 on TikTok, we're not giving him a mortgage, right? They're going to look at your real info, your real finances, right?
Yeah.
If you apply for a mortgage saying I can afford this house, and you waste the mortgage broker's time, the bank's time, the real estate agent's time, and then you put in your data and you were bullshit and you get denied, yes, that's in bad faith.
Okay, but does every single time that somebody gets denied for a mortgage, does that automatically mean it's in bad faith? The answer is no.
I think plenty of people know
a yes or no.
that they're
That's a
gonna
yes or no
throw
question.
shit at the
So
wall
if
and hope it sticks.
does applying for automatically mean that it's in bad faith?
Okay, let's take that one step further. What if the bank
No,
says,
that's a yes or no. I need a yes or no to that.
we're going to let you live in the house.
I actually need a yes or no to that.
But see, under Biden, they were allowed to come in the
I
country
need a yes or no.
until they
I need a
found
yes or
out.
no. I need a yes or no to that.
If you got to live in the house until
I need
they
a
found
yes.
out,
I
it
need
would
a
be in
yes
bad
or no
faith.
from that.
Yes.
So that's a yes or no.
If the rule was you get to live in the house until
No,
they
that
find
wasn't
out
the
you're
question.
not
I was talking about the house. I'm saying I'm not.
but
That's
you
not
were-
what I'm
but did
asking. That's
Biden
not what I'm
allow them to
asking
come
you.
in the country?
That's not what I'm asking you.
No,
So
you
I'm
have
going to
to
ask the
compare
question.
apples to
If I
apples, or
apply
else
for a
it's a-
mortgage,
or
if
else
I
it's a
nope,
bad
if I apply
comparison.
for a mortgage and I get denied, does that automatically mean that I did that in bad faith? Yes or no?
If you get to benefit from it, yes. In the meantime, if you get to live in that house for 6 months,
Oh my
in the
God!
meantime,
I asked. That wasn't the question. If I apply for a
but
mortgage,
then it's a bad comparison.
If I apply for
Okay, in your
a mortgage,
shitty example, yes. Okay, great.
yes,
Wow.
okay. So
It's a bad
somebody applying
example.
for asylum doesn't automatically mean they did it in bad faith.
But you get to stay here until they find out otherwise.
Okay, that's
So
how
that would
it's.
be like
Yeah,
if the
no
bank
shit. That's
legally,
how it works.
if the president came and said, everyone that applies for a mortgage gets the mortgage, and then you get 6 months or a year or 2 years from now, we'll let you know if it actually is legitimate, that would be in bad faith.
No, that's not true. Just because you get a benefit from something doesn't automatically mean you're doing it in bad faith either.
Yes, it does, because other people that should be legitimately accessing those resources are getting pushed to the back of the line.
Just because you're getting pushed. Wait. Somebody. Wait.
Right
This
way.
other people getting pushed back of the line mean that you did it in bad faith.
Of course.
What is
If
that?
you knew you were less qualified. I'm less.
I just want to be.
I'm coming here. I don't need this asylum.
I think I just want to hear this. Other people not getting resources mean that you applied for asylum in bad faith. Are you serious, bro?
So what? They just didn't understand.
Like, what are asylum statistics like? What are these statistics measuring? Are they measuring like if people are getting denied or granted asylum? Are they measuring like if these people applied for asylum in good or bad faith?
Okay, but you can ascertain that a good percentage.
That was actually an option. That's not an answer. It's either option A or option B. Okay, form or latter.
The large majority is in bad faith. With the large majority.
Just repeat this claim. Got it. I'm gonna keep that. Got it. I'm gonna clock that.
You do understand the question he asked you, right?
What is that?
You do understand the question he asked you. Like, the data we use to assess if asylum is granted or not doesn't tell us anything about the motivations of the people that seek asylum, right? Like, you can never ever possibly.
Of course, I recognize that. Of course, I recognize that.
Why are you citing how much people get denied asylum? It doesn't tell you what their intent was. There's no evidence that these things are being done in bad faith.
And my next follow-up question to that was, are they just so confused they don't understand what they're doing?
The question is not being confused. The question is, did these people legitimately think that they could qualify for asylum? That's a simple question. You have no evidence to suggest that they didn't believe that. It's not a matter of confusion. I don't know what that has to do with anything.
They didn't understand what made you eligible. You're confused of what constitutes eligibility.
The standard for eligibility is on a probability measure. It's not like you fit this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you get it. It's a probability thing, right? It's a greater than, I think, 50% chance or maybe 90% chance. But yeah, it's on a spectrum, right? There's not going to be one set of standards that you're always going to get it, and countries are very different, so there's going to be different things. I don't know how you can ever prove that there's a bad faith intent from any of these people.
Hi,
that's
Father.
just-
Would you want to be
Yeah,
led up
so-
to say? Is there something specific or?
Oh, I mean, you also mentioned the transit bans. The transit bans were blocked in Trump's term, so they weren't even a thing to be revoked anyway, and they were illegal. Also, Biden tried his own transit ban, and it got blocked. So that's I don't know what you're referring to there.
And everything else you
Remain in
mentioned,
Mexico was
everything else you
Remain in
mentioned, like
Mexico.
the CH&V program, and the expedite removal stuff. I'm pretty sure, like or at least changed the enforcement policy was just changing to. Because I remember Merrick Garland specifically wrote a memo saying that they need to be targeting people who were convicted of crimes or convicted felons, and then the other two things you mentioned were just legal platforms of immigration, or pathways. I don't really see.
Let me
change
just
in expedited
clarify.
removal as
Let
well,
me
by
clarify.
the way, was also
What
blocked,
percent?
so
What percent
Biden
of
and Trump
asylum
used the same
cases are
standards.
granted? What percent of asylum cases
The
are granted?
you already
percentage
answered
of
your
asylum
question.
cases that are granted at the border is 65%.
Also, expedited removal was also blocked in Trump's
No,
first term.
Wait, what did you say?
That's not true. It's
what did you say?
35%. Where are you getting 65% from?
Wait, did you say
65% are denied. Are you looking at the inverse and not understanding what you're looking at again?
No,
months
that's from
before?
Trace. That's from Trace.
So what percent of asylum is legitimate?
The percent.
Again,
That's what. That's not what they're
The question,
measuring.
like the data that you're asking for, and the question you're asking don't like follow. I don't know why you keep asking it over and over again. The
What do you
question on
mean
how
it
much
doesn't
people are
follow?
denied or granted is not going to tell you what the intent was of the individual. Do you understand that? One can come here in good faith and get your application denied, right?
What do you
Those two things
mean?
aren't
What do you
mutually
mean the
exclusive.
intent is not there? Don't they ask the intent of the people?
No, it doesn't. The application
What do
being
you
denied
mean
isn't
it
based
doesn't?
on the intent.
You have to fill in you have to fill in an application to qualify, right?
Yes. And you can
Higher.
So don't they ask
Let
the
me get this
actual
right.
information?
Let me get this right. If you're driving down the road
Mhm.
and you're going 30 miles above the speed limit, but you didn't know what the speed limit was, okay?
Do you think
Are you
the
doing-
standard for being granted asylum and the speed limit are the same thing? Like,
Well, there's
you just
requirements,
got on
though.
a very like simple hypothetical that actually tested your logic, and your example is the speed limit versus the asylum standard. You understand that it even operates on a probability
wait,
measure.
wait,
Speed limits
Give
aren't
me a
measured
better
on if it's
example then.
probable.
Wait,
that
give me a
you're
better
past the
example
speed
then.
limit. But
Hi,
yeah,
Father, can you
My
please-
argument is that your ignorance to the process and the laws
there is no
does not
ignorance.
equal.
Okay, sure. Okay,
does
look,
not
we can
equal
start off. Okay,
innocence.
So, yeah, okay.
Ignorance does not equal
what
innocence.
What does DHS file in order to start an immigrant's removal proceedings? What is that called?
But I'm not here for pop quiz.
Okay, so I don't know why you mentioned ignorance. You don't even know what you're talking about. Okay, so let's just get
I'm
that
not
out of the
talking
way.
about-
You don't
like,
need to muddy the
you're
water.
you're talking.
right?
You're talking.
Okay, you're just doing a
Sure.
fallacy right now. Hi, Father. I don't
Wait,
know.
I'm
He
sorry,
said he
I'm
was
sorry.
ignorant. Like, what are
He
we
just
talking
called
about?
me ignorant.
You're doing
No,
a fallacy.
not you. Even though that must have struck a nerve. I'm saying
Yeah,
people
sure.
that are illegally seeking asylum.
It's
Okay,
not
their ignorance
There's
does
no
not
evidence of their
equal.
ignorance either, right? Do you understand? Again, these standards are like shifting. They're not arbitrary. They're not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get this. That's not how it works. It's a probability thing, and it's on a measure, and it depends on the country or the extent or the amount of provable facts or all these things. There's numerous factors. Not one single
But the
person.
large
You can't be
majority
ignorant
is
about
found
these
to be
things.
erroneous. That's the problem.
They're not found to be erroneous.
No.
They're
Once again, the
70%
majority of affirmative asylum cases are found are granted. That's actually
No, they're
true.
not. Dude, I just looked it up from 3. So
You're
where
looking
are
at
you
affirm.
citing
You're
from?
looking at
Wait,
affirm.
hi,
You're looking at
Where
affirmative
does
and
it say that
defensive.
they
You're
don't
looking
fill
at
in,
you're
like-
looking at affirmative and defensive asylum seekers lumped in
Why are we
together.
differentiating between them?
Because
they're different
affirmative,
things.
because they're different things. Affirmative is when you seek asylum at the border, right after crossing.
Okay, but you can't just throw away half the data for your sake of your argument. You have to look at it in totality.
Yeah, no, necessarily. Yeah, I'm gonna look at the affirmative ones because that's gonna be the people who are apprehended at the border who are looking to seek asylum. What's the data? I'm gonna look
My,
at?
If anything,
my
it would be
argument,
less
the
because
general
defense
premise of my
asylum people
argument is
already are
that
in the
people
country.
try to use asylum as a loophole.
You don't have any evidence of that, dude. We've
Yeah.
already gone over this. There's just literally just no good evidence of this, right?
When the less than half of the people are not granted
Again, being
asylum.
granted has nothing to do with if they're trying to use it as a loophole. Do you understand that? We've gone over this like 10 times, dude. What are you talking about?
I just really don't feel like getting this point.
So what, they're hoping for the best? Like what is your argument?
There is none of the
Yes.
data you would ever bring would ever support the idea
Besides,
that it's
there's,
being
like-
done in bad faith.
There's
right?
also like
It's just very
legitimate problems with like the asylum
So
system,
where
like
is
the
your
fact
evidence
like
that it's in good faith?
immigrants. Wait, the
Where's your
children
evidence that it's in good
the
faith?
children of immigrants who are like children of immigrants who are seeking asylum literally have to like try and prove in court by themselves without the help of their parents, and a lot of them can't even afford legal counsel and prove their case for asylum. Like literal children.
Yeah, it's just
like I don't like. Do you think they're doing it in bad faith?
Also,
I didn't say everyone is.
That's kind of what you're saying.
Really, anyone, really. But that's yes, it is what you're saying.
This isn't necessarily what you're saying. Yeah, really.
He didn't say everyone, by the way.
It's literally what he's implied. Also, you asked me if I could prove.
I didn't imply anything. Your interpretation is not my implication.
I don't care. You said I couldn't prove the claim that they are doing it in good faith. You understand that that's not what we're litigating, right? This guy made the affirmative claim that it's the being
right, but you can't prove it either way.
Yeah, that's the point. The idea is that the data doesn't tell us anything about the intent, so I don't know how you'd make an affirmative claim saying that it's not in good faith.
But intent. Again, you're hyper focused.
I need to into shit.
You're hyper focused on the word intent.
That's what you're trying to prove.
I'm not trying.
I'm hyper focused on your claim. Yeah,
that's a blip. No. The intent is not the major issue here.
What is the major issue?
The major issue is the raw numbers that the asylum system was broken, and instead of Biden clamping down,
what? Hire more immigration
hold on.
judges,
See, you're
officers.
afraid to have a conversation. You just want to talk.
Yeah, true. I just gave you a solution. Hire more immigration judges, get more people to practice in immigration law, get more asylum officers, train more people in assessing credible fear.
But in the meantime,
these countries,
let's increase the border encounters. In the meantime, let's increase the encounters by 200, 300, 400, 500%. Right? That's a good way to handle things.
You just said the asylum system was broken.
No, let's I've been a little facetious in the conversation. Let's attack the border encounters statistic directly now, right? So I've been like playing your game of like, oh, border encounters like are meaningful in any way to measure anything. It's actually like really bad data. I don't know why we'd use it, right? So
the only data that exists.
According to Pew Research, 65% of all border encounters, while the Title 42 was implemented, were actually just repeat crossers, right? Because what that allowed is for people to be expelled back across the border and immediately try and re-immigrate. Yes, I can.
Wait, show it.
Proof, evidence.
Yo,
what's that called?
Bro. Stop.
What is that called?
What's what called?
When you try to cross the border more than once.
A crime.
Oh,
but it wasn't recidivism. It's called recidivism, and it becomes a felony when you try it.
The issue is that under Title 42, these people weren't being prosecuted for the initial crossing, so they could just do it over and over again. That was the issue with Title 42, right? So they could more or less cross it like 6 times and never like actually get prosecuted or charged for anything, which is why Title 42 incentivized a lot of crossings.
So hold on. So higher father, are you contesting that Joe Biden did a good job
with the border? Higher father, I've heard everything. Am I contesting what? Am I contesting that he did a good job?
High fat.
With the border.
Yeah.
It depends on what you mean by.
So this is just this one's for 2021,
like the worst
2022.
job of any president in the history.
Because more than a quarter of all migrants are at the U.S. border in fiscal year 2020 and 2022, 27%, 26% respectively, involved repeat crossers. So 26 to 27%. We'll just say like 26% for 2020 and 2021.
So you literally just proved my point tenfold. Thank you.
Wow.
Because if you got rejected once and then tried again, is that not bad faith?
No, it means the data is bad. If you're trying to say, if we're trying to say like, oh my God, 10 million people came into. If we're trying to like say 10 million illegal immigrants came into the country.
You just proved my point.
Are you dumb?
They got rejected the first time. They knew they didn't.
Wait, what do you?
And then they tried again.
They didn't get rejected for asylum. Wait, that's not what Title 42 is. Title 42 is basically is like an emergency pandemic policy that allows the DHS and Border Patrol agents to immediately expel people back across the border once they cross illegally.
Wasn't litigating it if their claims had any legitimacy, and that was like the kind of the point, right?
Yeah. You just said people try 6 times to come across. You said people sometimes try 5, 6, 7 times. That's what you just said. Which number becomes bad faith? Try number 3, 4, 5, 6.
Wait, we're not talking about if it's bad faith. We're talking about he's not tracking the conversation. He's actually not tracking the conversation.
And then you keep trying to break the law.
So you can't. We can't. We're not talking about asylum anymore. You understand that, right?
Also, mind you, Title 42 doesn't even necessitate a legal crossing. You could come to a port of entry and still be turned away. So I don't know.
We are talking about asylum.
No, you just can't track the conversation. It's an issue.
I'm not talking about asylum anymore. I'm contesting the fact that border encounters as a whole is a terrible data set. It just isn't good, right?
Apparently low
That's
IQ.
the data set that you've been referring to the entire conversation.
No, it's the one you've been referring to.
No, Highfather, I was using
No.
it.
He pointed
I was
us to the
using it.
chart. You joined the party late, bro. I don't know, like,
Yeah.
who, like.
Well,
you
yeah, I
think
was
you know
saying,
what
I
you're
was,
talking
yeah,
about?
I was saying, yeah, I
He's the main
literally like
character, like, bro, just
the
shut
funny
up.
thing is, I said I was being facetious, and that I said I was being facetious, because I knew that I could literally go on your guys' level of not like even knowing that border count was a bad idea, and I was still able to get you to concede that the MPP wasn't the reason.
So for
that,
the
like,
last 45 minutes,
wasn't the reason
you
that
were
this
doing this
thread was
major
going up.
psyop where
Yeah,
you knew
basically
you
it's
get
just
Yeah,
on
because
our
you don't know
level.
anything. You're so low information that I can literally engage on a lower level on your level and still beat you while assuming untrue
I asked
things.
you to provide data, and that's the
Yes.
data you provided.
Oh, wait,
And you
arrogant.
think you did like a bait and switch?
I did. Yes, you got tricked.
No. You're tricked yourself, and now you're lying to yourself.
my God,
because
bro,
until
never
Hire
mind.
got in here, you
Actually,
let me tell
it
you,
was
you
a
were getting
double,
raked
triple.
over the coals.
I'm higher,
You were getting
father.
raked
I'm
over the
high,
coals.
bad.
No,
And then
Hire
hold
came in
on.
here.
You guys were like, you can't prove that they had bad intent, but you just proved to him that they tried
No,
5 to 6
I'm
times.
sorry. This is a
What the
tracking
actual
issue.
fuck?
Yeah, just to be clear, so we were litigating on
And
it.
they were
The denial,
crossing
yeah, sure.
illegally
Yeah, I
too.
don't know
Like
what
that's
kind of way you're
crazy,
talking.
right?
Wait,
we
you
were
just
litigating.
proved yourself.
Yeah,
You just
Wait,
proved yourself to be
wait.
illegal,
Was
bro.
I getting raked over the coals when you conceded on the MPP point?
True.
Was that when I was getting raked over the
I'm
coals,
just
or
saying,
when
I
you didn't know that
haven't
January
conceded
came
anything
before
you said.
May? What at which point between those I was getting raked over the
That's
coals?
what you didn't
It was the
understand,
point
dude.
before
You were
scratch.
looking
That
at
was
a
the point
calendar
before. Okay,
of
that's
May
the
and
point I was
saying it
getting raked over the
January.
coals.
By
You
the
were
way,
getting raked
yeah.
over the coals.
By the way, Luca, just to
continuously
be
and stomped
clear,
on.
yeah, we were litigating on if the denial of an asylum claim by an immigration judge proves bad intent. The question of Title 42 is not the question on if you're denied asylum. Do you understand the difference?
No one's saying that they're the same.
He literally just said that the idea
But
of
are
being
you saying, hold on, are you saying
the
there's
idea
no
of multiple
overlap?
crossings under Title
Are
42
you saying
is
that some of
somehow
these people
proof
are
that
not the
intent
same
of
people?
asylum seekers were bad.
But
That's
are you
what you're trying to
but
argue? Do you understand that those are
but
different
these are
things?
but there's overlap.
Wait, I'm
dude.
sorry. I need to answer to my question.
There
Do you
is
understand
overlap.
that there is no
There is
overlap? You don't
overlap.
apply for asylum with Title 42. You don't get it denied. There's no immigration.
You
judge,
guys
just
are
get
the
turned
only ones
away.
that keep referring to Title 42. I never said the words Title 42 once.
You realize we're talking about Title 42 removings, right?
You are
When we're
to try
talking
to
about
change
crossings.
this. We try to change from asylum, and then all of a sudden you start talking about Title
Well,
42.
no, well, so the issue is that you were losing badly on it. Then Scratch had to show that even encounters wouldn't really help your argument, which is why we talked about Title 42. And I'm talking about Title 42 when I say
No
that's
one
not
was losing.
intent.
Nobody's losing badly.
Okay, yeah.
You
So just broadly, do we agree that again, turnaways during Title 42 is not indicative of intent, right?
I never
You can
mentioned
have
Title
you can have a
42 once in
legitimate
this
claim. You
conversation.
can have a legitimate claim to asylum and be turned away, and you can come
I
again.
never
because you're
referenced
illegal
Title
claim,
42
right?
once. You switched the topic and
we're
then
talking
tried
about
to do a
encounters.
gotcha
We're
with
talking-
your own
But the
topic.
Just
intent,
this guy
the
next to me
intent of
is
actually
was
coming in
trying to
again
get
is
me-
illegal, right?
This
So
guy
they're doing,
next to me.
so they're
This guy
coming in
next to me tried
illegally
to think that it was a
multiple
good
times,
point,
right?
right? That's the issue. He
Wait,
tried to
hold
say
on. So
that
they're coming in illegally.
I don't know what we're
multiple
doing
times,
here.
That's
This
illegal.
is really.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
They get deported, they come back, right? Illegally. They get deported, they come back illegally. Isn't that bad?
Not necessarily in Title 42.
Really? Are you crazy? Are you good?
Well,
Do
yeah,
you have-
encounters include
you have
people who
cognitive
approach
dissonance, bro?
POEs, so yeah, necessarily.
Encounters, yeah.
Really?
It's
You have
just not a
cognitive
necessary
dissonance.
indication.
That's what
of
I'm like
legal entry.
seeing out of you, bro. Cognitive dissonance. Crazy.
It's like it's just like bots, right? Like none of them know anything about
Right,
immigration.
you're
That's
the
why
main
they just
character,
talk in
bro.
these
We're the
abstract black and
okay.
whites.
Right.
Okay, Luca, do we agree?
Wait.
Yeah,
Actually,
you're the main
we don't
character.
know anything. Okay, what's the INA?
INA?
Yeah.
I'm not here for any pop quizzes.
Yeah,
bro.
I'm not here for pop
Oh,
quizzes.
quizzes. I don't know
You
anything.
guys don't know anything, but I'm not here for pop quizzes. Oh my gosh, you guys are actually
Yeah,
bots.
bro.
Holy shit.
Nice
I
Indian
asked
accent,
you.
nice
I
one.
asked you about what it's called when you try to cross the border again. You didn't know. Like you can't know every term, every fucking thing. Like
Yeah.
every acronym.
Mind you, we're asking about like what the immigration law is called, by the way.
And
when we're
I
talking
asked
about
you
terms.
for a specific term, and you didn't know.
Yeah.
Something you brought up when people try to come over and over again. You
Yeah.
didn't know.
It's a
And the other
felony,
guy
yes.
didn't know that April comes first, apparently.
Yeah, true. So to be clear, we don't know what Title 8 is. We don't know that encounters doesn't necessitate illegal crossings. So what else do we know?
No, dude.
You didn't know
We
what
know
you
that.
filed
We know
to start.
that. Hold on.
Tell Luca, tell me what the INA is. Luca, tell me what the
Lower
INA
sun.
is.
Listen, lower sun.
Yeah, bro, I know everything.
We understand that
Lower
encounters does
sun.
not equal
Oof.
crossings.
You know everything,
Yes.
bro. You're the main character.
I do. Thank you. I do.
Yeah.
So can you wait? Can you tell me what the INA is?
Yeah. I bet everybody
Are you-
glazes you,
Are
right?
you gonna answer my
But
question?
you're
or are
an
you just
actual
gonna,
idiot. You're an idiot who just.
What is the INA?
studies.
What is
We're
the
just gonna
INA?
ask you it again. We're just
What
gonna
is
ask
the
you it
INA?
again.
What's the
Brutus
INA?
Unlock.
You know, I think your whole face is just brutal.
Incredible. We're just gonna keep asking.
Cortisol
until you
raised.
Give us an answer.
Yeah. Okay. This is just childish at this point.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
childish. Can you? We're gonna keep asking until you just admit that you don't know, and you keep piping up.
So,
in the conversation.
actually-
You're
Ask me
utterly
again.
outmatched.
Ask me again.
What's the INA? Another
Ask me
stun
again,
lock.
bro.
So we're
Ask me
just gonna
again.
ask it again.
Ask
What's
me
the
again.
INA?
Ask me again, bro.
I'm not gonna ask you again until you admit that you
Oh,
don't
that's
know.
crazy. So
Boy.
so you're lying now? That's crazy.
Yeah, he still doesn't know. It's
So
pretty-
I wonder. So you guys said that it was
So
Trump's
how-
policies. You guys said it's Trump's policies that got border encounters down. How come border encounters went down almost mostly through Biden? It was only the last 60,000 under Trump.
What are you saying?
The majority
you
when
saying
border
now?
encounters were going down from what their peak at almost 300,000. The most of that trend happened in Biden's. Almost the entirety of that trend
So
happened.
wait,
in Biden's
hold on. Now
administration.
you're making the argument that it went up to 300,000 under Biden, but then it came back down. So you want to give him credit for that? Is that like when inflation went to 9% and then
No,
came
that's
back
not
down
what
to
it- no.
3? You want to give him credit, dude?
Nope. No,
That's a
I'm sure.
shit
No,
argument.
what I'm trying to say is that
Try again.
That's not what I'm. That's
Yeah.
not, that wasn't my. That
Let's
isn't my
forget you
point.
just said that.
Scratch,
Let's
scratch,
just forget you
scratch.
said
That
that.
isn't my point.
Obviously,
Pass on that.
obviously, you only attribute the bad things to Biden, not the good things,
True.
right? So we think that we think that spikes on immigration are only according to him, but whenever it goes down, that has
True.
nothing
I
to do
totally
with
wasn't
him.
making a
Yeah.
point about you guys were like trying to make the point that that Trump got encounters down to almost nothing. The encounters are like in this current term, and the fact
No,
is that most of the encounter data.
Incorrect. What? Okay,
True.
let me start. But let me ask you this: what is the single month that had the most encounters of Trump's first term and Biden's only term? What month?
What?
Definitely.
Oh wait, I
somebody-
thought you guys are experts.
Are you
going to
engage? Are you going to engage with this? My point.
I'm engaging directly with what you're bringing up right now.
Okay,
What
well,
month
the highest point
had
was
the most
December.
encounters?
Was December of 2023.
Yes, right? And what was my original point? That going into the election year, they realized they were going to lose the election on this matter, and they finally took action.
The action.
Can you
Biden-
concede to that?
Huh?
Because the highest month.
No, I agree. They
was
took.
the end of
I agree.
2023.
I agree. They took action, but the action didn't happen until June of 2024. After almost a 200,000 decrease in encounters.
Also, we had something called Title 42 at that time.
Yeah, bro, you said it a million
5
times.
years.
Do you just repeat the word Title 42 and
Title
think that makes it
42.
knowledgeable?
Yeah, it's a cool
Title 42.
Are you guys gonna?
Yo,
Title
what's the
42.
INA? Hold on, what's the INA?
This is the issue. 'cause
Title
What's the
42.
INA?
What's the
talk,
INA?
I allow
What's-
you guys.
Just
what's
keep
to
saying
Title
Title 42
42?
over and
What's
over,
the-
and then
what's
you'll
the
become
INA,
like
bro?
Just to be
super
clear,
intelligent.
yeah,
What's the
this is no
INA?
engagement with Scratch's point. It's very odd. I understand you don't want to respond to it, right? You can just admit it, but
No,
you don't
I'd
have to
love
like
to
try to like
respond to it.
filibuster. and
Yo, hi,
grasp
father.
things
What's
I'm
the
saying.
INA and what's
It's
Title
the
42?
Immigration and Nationality Act. It was signed in
Okay, and what's
1952. It
Title
outlines our
42?
immigration law. Now, can you engage with Scratch's point now?
Okay. And what's INA again?
Are you gonna engage with Scratch's point or?
What's INA, bro?
Yeah, true.
His point is he's making the point that I'm making, that going into the election year started to come down.
You're saying that going to election year started to come down because Biden took some kind of action, right? Because
And what happened? What
but
caused
the point, but then I said, okay, if Biden did take action, not denying that, but the action didn't happen until June 2024, and encounters had gone down by almost 200,000 by then.
But what action took place in June that you're referring to?
Wait, are you denying that?
No, you stated there was action taken in June of 2024.
Okay,
what
but
are you
your
alluding
point
to?
is that the reason that the encounters were going down were because Biden took action, right?
And you're saying it didn't happen until 2024. And I'm
Yes,
asking
when
you, are
when
you
the encounters
sure
had already gone down.
that nothing
Yes.
happened previous to that? That's what I'm asking you to clarify.
Yeah.
You're sure?
Yes.
So what did happen in June first?
In June, Biden restricted asylum at the border.
Okay. Now, what's the other country that they're coming in from? I mean, maybe you might have forgotten this little
What?
detail.
Other country?
What's the other side
They're
of the
coming in
border?
from what?
Mexico, right?
Canada?
Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Did you forget the part where Mexico started enforcing the border on their side in January? Did you forget that part? Seems like you forgot that part, huh?
What?
What?
In late December of 2023 and early January 2024, Mexican authorities began blocking immigrants from that side of the border, enforcing freight train, airplanes. They created checkpoints, patrols. You don't remember this? And then when Trump got them to put more agents there, you guys were like, Biden already did that. Biden already did that. You don't remember this? This is not that long ago.
I will say I do like the unique approach of just like actively debunking your own argument that Trump had anything to do with the drop. It's very creative, I will say. Guys, you're wrong. It was Trump. Now let me list a bunch of additional factors that just weren't Trump. Yeah, good one, buddy. Incredible.
No. We're speaking about a very specific topic.
Yeah, if we are. We're talking about
and
Trump's
I asked
effects.
if anything happened prior to June of 2024. You guys both sat there in silence.
You just cited more reasons as to why it had nothing to do with Trump.
No. That's not what we're talking about here, right? That's not what we're litigating, is it? We're not litigating that, right? We're litigating your claim that June of 2024 was the first action taken by Biden. And I said, are you sure nothing happened prior to that? You both stunned in silence.
The question was obviously
I am now
indexed.
alerting you to the fact.
The question was obviously indexed to Biden.
Previously didn't know.
The question was obviously indexed to Biden.
Here, okay?
Wait. The question was indexed to Biden. No shit. Wait, you didn't even ask the right question.
At his request, dude. Follow along here.
Okay.
You don't remember.
Follow
along. Let me just add in information afterwards.
Did I say,
did
Biden do something in January 24? I said, did anything happen that you could possibly remember? And you both sat there in stunned silence. And then I told you about it. And now you want to act like,
I literally answered the question.
You said no.
Yeah, so I didn't sit there in silence. You said so I didn't sit there in stunned silence.
Well, your buddy here was stunned, and you said no like a moron. You were both wrong.
But the question was indexed to Biden, so.
That's
at his request. Don't
expect him to be tracking this conversation, unfortunately.
You just said this Title 42, tracking the conversation. INA. Yeah. Title 42.
Yeah, it's my favorite 3 words.
You have 4 words.
Yep.
Wait, so which kind of Title 42?
Which kind of Title 42? Great question, buddy. Good to know you're keeping up.
Yeah, I'm keeping up, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but can we admit that going into the election year, they realized this was a problem politically and they finally did something about it? Or is it all just circumstance? It's all just coincidence?
What's coincidence? What action are you referring to?
That it was not until the election year that finally Democrats realized this was an issue and we need to rein it in or we're going to lose the election. Or was it all a coincidence?
Well, the idea would be, first off, there were actions from Biden like prior to 2024, number one. Number two, you had laws in place. You guys keep like schizo posting about Title 42, but that did exist for most of the
I've never said the words Title 42 in my life. Still, before this conversation, I've never said it.
You're doing it right now.
You're saying Title 42. You keep saying Title 42.
You're doing the schizo thing. Yeah, and then the law that was worked on by Biden was, I believe, starting like January 2024, a pretty good bill. If you want to talk about partisan politics, Trump shooting it down was the most partisan politics thing you could do. So in terms of enforcement, there were actions prior to 2024. And in terms of laws, I don't really care if it's a political issue. He did have a bill that was going to fix it. So
did he? How many encounters that allow for a day?
Didn't allow for anything. I don't know if you guys
up to what figure?
Yeah,
give me a numerical figure.
The number
Just throw
was,
a number at me.
Yeah, the 4,000 was when it would.
It's 5. It's 5,000.
You didn't read the law. I don't know why you're trying to correct me on this. The number was 4,000. It would allow the president to use it, and the 5,000 would make it mandatory for the president. But the president would have discretion to use it at 4,000. And of course,
do you think he would have exercised that discretion based off his track record?
Encounters.
Do you think he would have
That's-
exercised
that's a
that
reference.
based on?
Yeah, he
Come on,
signed. He
dude.
signed an
Come on,
executive
dude.
order that allowed
Now
for.
you're in bad faith. Now
he
you're
signed,
no one.
just to
No
be
wonder you
clear.
defend people in
Sure.
bad faith.
Biden,
You live
realize
your life
Biden-
in bad
You
faith.
realize Biden signed an executive order that I believe allowed for 3,500. So yes, we actually do have proof that he would have executed at a lower number, actually. So, but yeah, I mean that bill was largely effective. Also,
He did that. He did that to save face in the election.
I mean, you
year,
can
dude.
think that, yeah. I mean, Biden also passed the transit ban in 2023. That was an election year. That was probably that was a Trump-esque policy. So I'm not exactly sure why we didn't believe that.
Because it got worse after that. That did nothing.
Because then it negates the point that it's some sort of election issue, right? Immigration was being tackled. You may not
No,
like
he
when it
did
was tackled,
something.
but
He did something to try to throw a bone to the political side and
it
say,
wasn't
"I'm going to
throwing a
pretend
bone.
I'm going to do
It's a law.
something."
Yeah, if you want to fix things,
But
you
it's
need
not
to
going to
pass
actually have
laws.
results,
You need
right?
to
It will fool
pass
people like
laws.
you, that are like, "Look what Biden just
Yeah,
did," but the numbers kept getting worse,
Yeah.
right?
The numbers
So it
didn't
works
get
on people
worse.
like you,
The numbers didn't get
obviously.
worse. They're going down. We literally just
No,
looked at the
they
chart.
spiked. They spiked in December of 2023.
Mhm.
We
And
just
then they
established
started
that.
going down, right?
When did he put the transit ban?
The transit ban was in early 2023.
Yes. So it got considerably worse from the transit ban to the end. An entire year
Yeah,
of
Biden.
worse,
I must
worse,
look at-
worse.
Biden implemented
From 130
1,000.
encounters to
Biden
250,000
sent almost
encounters.
1,500 troops to the border in May of 2023.
But yet the worst months were still to follow.
Oh, wow. It sounds like all this increased border enforcement really doesn't have a lot to do with the amount of encounters.
Not when
Wow.
the agents are not empowered. Not when the agents are not empowered
Seems like
to carry out the
They're
law.
not empowered by being
Not
funded
empowered,
extra and
funded
getting
and
more
given-
manpower. Yeah, true.
True.
No. They have the manpower. They just don't have the law to actually execute.
What? So, what Title VIII law did Biden revoke
Yeah.
that they were unable to execute?
This is the
I'm
head of
sorry,
Border
I'm
Control
sorry, I'm
quoting
just
it.
gonna-
This is the
I'm
head
just
of Border
gonna- I'm
Control's
just gonna
opinion.
ask that
This is the
question.
head of Border Control's
You didn't
opinion.
seem
It's
to
not
wanna
my
answer
opinion.
it.
Would you like the exact quote?
What law did Biden and Congress revoke from Title VIII that the Border Patrol couldn't enforce anymore? Like what law was that?
You'd have to take it up with the head of Border Control. That's a direct quote from him.
Just say I don't have an answer. That far more be more.
I'm not going to
efficient.
speak for the head of Border Control. I think he
Well,
knows
yeah,
better
the head
than
of the
both
Border
us.
Control didn't say Biden revoked Title VIII laws like you did. So I'm asking for you to prove your own claim. Yes.
No, he said that we have all the manpower we need. We have all the resources we need, but the law is not on our side because of the president.
Yeah. What laws? What laws did Biden either revoke or tell not to enforce?
I mean, do you want to keep going in circles here? He
There's just-
repealed
there's
Remain
just
in
not.
Mexico, and he
Not a
made
law.
it easier to seek asylum.
First off, that's not a law. B, that's not a law. B, no, Biden never passed any laws that made asylum legally harder to obtain or legally easier. That never happened. There was no asylum laws under Biden's term. And also, Remain in Mexico was kept under Biden for literally his first year. So it was struck down because it was unlawful.
By the
I don't
court.
think you guys realize that. Like it was
Because of
like
the
you
court,
you
by the
realize,
court, not
yeah,
because
a
of
court,
him.
A court of appeals under Trump had already litigated that Remain in Mexico was illegal. Even if Trump won the second in 2020, he probably wouldn't have been able to use Remain in Mexico. It was illegal.
So
Do we
they
agree?
didn't
I'm sorry,
implement the
do we agree with
CBP
that?
app. They didn't implement the CBP app.
Do we agree that Remain in Mexico?
Wait,
was
what do you
more
think the
likely
CBP?
unlawful?
Okay, sorry. You go
The
first. and then we'll-
CBP app.
No,
made
no,
it
no,
easier
no.
to
Engage
try
in
to
high
seek
five.
asylum.
I'll engage in the red herring. Yeah, go ahead. Head five. That's my mistake. I engage in the red herring.
Do we agree that Remain in Mexico was just like found to be unlawful by Court of Appeals? And it was also found to be unlawful under Biden's term as well. People didn't like forget that as well. Even when Biden
No,
tried to
I'm not
tweak it.
disputing that. I'm not disputing that.
so we
I'm just saying it was
understand,
effective. It was effective.
Wait, what's the evidence it was effective? It was implemented in 2019, and Trump had the highest amount of encounters in 2019. What's the proof that it was effective?
What do you mean he had the highest number of
Yeah, in
encounters?
2019, Trump had 800,000 encounters. That was higher than any year under Obama and any of the years of Trump. It was the highest since 2006. That was when he implemented Remain in Mexico. There's literally just no basis to suggest that program was effective. Like none.
When did he implement it?
2019.
What month?
I think like March, I think. We had